So I got to say, guys, I've had some sadness this week because I've started editing, making a podcast actual play of this stuff, and with the old characters, and it's kind of sad. Yeah. I miss Yorick and
I listened to that first one today at work, and I was like, God, that was a great crew.
Yeah,
that was really building up to be a lot of fun.
I know. I was like, I should bring those guys back from the dead or something. Guys are all zombies.
I'll play Yorick in a second. You just say the word. I'll bring that creepy little kid right back.
Oh my God. And Wraith. Oh my God. I still laugh when I hear that stuff.
The first session?
Yeah, the snooty voice was just
man. Maybe I'll make another character with a snooty voice someday.
I can see why you wouldn't want to do it, but it was pretty funny.
I just thought it was going to get really annoying for you guys because he was also like highly critical with no real basis.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great.
It was entertaining.
Okay, well that's good feedback. All right.
I loved how he would make fun of people basically and be like, well, maybe you should try to hit him next time.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe I'll watch it again.
Well, that snooty face. That one's cool.
Yeah.
It's a good laugh.
Oh, good man. Good times.
I can't believe I've never played a bard before.
I know, it's so you.
It really is actually, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's because someone always plays a bard, and before I get my hands on it, I just don't consider it. It's a very popular class.
Yeah, that's new. I don't remember the bard being so popular since first edition.
I was reading something and people just trash talking about it.
Big in first.
Yeah. Yeah, but you couldn't be a bard until what, 10th level or something?
Yeah, it was crazy how many different levels. You had to have levels in 3 different classes before you could get your first level in bard.
Yeah, what was it? Fighter, rogue, and druid or something like that?
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah. Yep.
So bizarre.
Well, gotta grow my own.
Arcane and divine casters, so wouldn't there have had to have been an arcane class in there somewhere?
You would think, but I don't think there was.
I don't think that was the case at the time. And I'm not sure bard is really an arcane class now either. Anywhere where they list certain magic applying to certain things, they never list the bard as part of that. So I'm not sure that was kind of a 3rd edition thing. I mean, it stands to reason because most of their spells do come from that.
Right, but then some of them are divine. So yeah,
they're bardic.
No, I think you're really gonna enjoy it because it's very busy. It's a very busy class.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can pick from.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely not gonna get rich playing D&D. If only there were a way.
If only. Yeah, you gotta get a lot of famous people together with another famous person running the thing. The D&D doesn't have to be good. It's just the people have to be famous.
A lot of times what happens with those, if you listen to them, is after a while they stop playing D&D and they're just screwing around.
Right. Yeah.
And I still want them to kind of play D&D.
We never do that. We are always on target.
Always on task, man.
We veer off, but your deft hand kind of screws the ship back.
The invisible hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, God damn it, guys, we're playing D&D here. Shut the fuck up.
Sorry, Dad.
Quit talking about Star Wars.
All right, that Italian bastard Leif Odinson's on our chat again. Dirty Mexican.
I thought you refused to look at any chat, Dwayne.
I do.
Oh wait, I just realized that's a J in his name. I always thought it was an I. How do you say that, Chrissy? How do you say his name?
I think it's Leif.
Leif.
Leif? That's awesome.
Happy Leif Erikson Day.
If it's Chrissy, it's more like Leif.
Oh my god.
Because I'd say Legif.
I get so mad when people say it that way.
He's French. It's Le Jeff.
Le Jeff.
Yeah. Also, if
that's
anyone
French for Jeff.
somehow reads various things related to Isceau or Isceau, I don't know how I pronounce his name. A lot of the stuff I just run through random French translations. I apologize for anyone.
I'm prepared to be offended.
That looks at various things I've written and taken French words and kind of taken a letter or two out.
You deliberately need to make it
like poor Malshan.
Yeah, you need to take like English slang words for penis and then translate those slang words into French, and then that should be like everything you use.
Every character that Nathan is ever involved with is going to be retconned to be from a totally different continent, because he's really screwing with my, no unnecessary letters. And he's like, I'm going to use French, which has the most unnecessary letters known.
Yeah, I take some things out because I'm like, I need names. And so I'm like, what goes with Isceau? Okay, French thing. Okay, where's he from? He's from a port town that's shit. Okay, it's a shit town. It's bad luck. The French word for bad luck or something is like Malchon or something. So you get port, bad luck. And then you put it together, you get poor Malchon. And there you go. This is how I make names for shit.
Also, I cannot pronounce anything French. So.
And his last name is Atrice, which I think... Anyways.
Yeah, see?
And I should show people the sweet picture I found that fit Mahmoud that Steve thought was neat.
It is actually a wicked picture. It's a little bit like too dark for this particular iteration of him, but it's so perfect in so many ways. I was like, sad not to be able to like.
Mangez-moi, je suis fromage. Right? That's all the French I know.
Oh,
that's all the French I know. That's it. Mangez-moi, je suis fromage.
And also, I did resist the urge, except I listened to like the very beginning, like our quote unquote monologue for the video of the previous ones. So I will need sort of filled in, but it's good that my character wasn't sort of there. I don't know. So
I think the consensus was your character was passed out in the wagon. Well, there's no wagon, so I guess you're slung over a pack horse.
Because at one time we were like, "Oh, Isceau is gonna be the horse the horse keeper," and then there was something about like a halfling, and then I stopped.
We have the halfling. He's still around. Tim.
Yeah, that's
and his new like whipping sub boy Tom.
There's a sub boy with the sub boy. He's the sub.
Yeah, we may or may not have a zombie goblin that assists Tim.
Gotta get Nathan over here.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
There he is.
Wow, that's a really cool image.
Yeah,
that's a cool picture.
That is from that is some character. That's a wallpaper actually for the game Darkest Dungeons.
And I love that. That is really good.
One of the classes is the occultist, which is like a Middle Eastern.
Whoa.
Well, that's why it's kind of dark. But he's also really happy, which is so weird that Steve made the character that he made, and it's like a happy evil dude. Or well, not evil, but like death guy. And I was like, holy crap, this is uncanny.
There's something about like the twinkle in the guy's eye in this picture that I got that like this picture kind of inspired the character a little bit, so that's why I felt like I had to keep it.
What are we doing? I don't even know. Yeah, my mind is really scattered today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
We're doing a montage.
Yes, that's right. Yes, so I don't even have to do anything.
You don't even have to do anything. Nope.
All right, so Nathan wasn't here, so I will explain it again really quickly. It's very simple. So you guys are taking this long journey. I will tell you for the sake of the montage that you're going to be going through. It's going to start out kind of, well, actually, I think last week you got to the point where it went from kind of grassy plains to kind of grassy rolling hills with trees here and there. Eventually, you're going to come to a forest. So what we're going to do is instead of just completely skipping it or doing all these random encounters and making it really boring like the caravan trip in Tyranny of Dragons was, each player will get to come up with something that happened on the way, like some kind of obstacle or maybe a monster that you faced, or it could be really anything, but it should be something that was something that you guys had to deal with or overcome. And then another player will tell us how you guys got past that, and specifically how their character was instrumental in getting past that obstacle. And one suggestion, I think it was John Marvin that said, is he usually would pick the person whose character is least equipped to deal with whatever that thing is. But I think I don't know that I know your characters that well yet. So I think we'll just we'll let the first person volunteer and then we'll just go in order. And we'll just do this until everyone's done both once. So who wants to volunteer to start out with the first event or obstacle that happened?
I'll go.
Okay.
I know Dwayne's got a list, so let's.
Yeah,
Dwayne's got one for everyone in case someone freezes, right?
I do have a few. I've been thinking about it. This is such an easy thing to think about because it's just, just kind of let your mind wander. Like I thought about 5 when I was out walking my dog the other day. And the beautiful thing is if you think about the setup, you don't really have to worry about the resolution. They get to figure that part out.
Right.
So that's where you kind of got to think on your feet.
Yeah. And we're not going to roll any dice or anything. It's all just
strictly narrative.
Yep.
Okay. So we're still kind of in the grasslands area, right? And then later we'll come into a forest. I guess this works either way.
Yeah, I mean, you're going first, so you get to kind of decide, and then everybody else has to conform. So if you do yours in the forest, then we're in the forest now, which is fine.
Okay.
And this is all kind of undefined anyway, so I can move lines on the map if I need to.
Okay, all right. Well, it kind of works a little bit better if it's sort of an open, maybe like kind of a rolling hills area that's more open.
Cool.
Because in the distance we see a settlement of some kind, probably like a small village. Doesn't look to be more than a couple dozen buildings. And it's not really listed on any of the maps. But the road clearly passes through this small village. And as we get closer, the number one thing we notice is that we don't hear any sound whatsoever or see any action in the village. And when we get to the outskirts, we realize that the village is completely empty from what we can see. The doors are swung wide open, and we kind of look through a couple of houses just to see what's going on, even just in the interest of maybe scoring some supplies or food or something. And it's like rotting food on a plate in the table. It's like everyone just vanished. And then as we kind of make our way through the town, one by one, everyone except the person who takes over this little narrative is sort of drawn. We hop off our horses and we're sort of continually drawn to this one area of the village where there's a big well with an open top, a standard like stone well. And all of us except the person who is immune to it, who's the person who's going to continue this, we're all just kind of like dumbstruck in our face. We get like a blank face. And we go over and kind of one by one and just kind of look down and stare into the well until finally we just kind of one by one fall into the well and there's a splash at the bottom. And one other person is not affected by this. And who would like to get us out of this jam?
So is there anything down in the well other than water, Dwayne? Or
that's up to the next person.
Okay.
Klatu fell down in the well. So do I get to pick them or volunteer?
I don't care. Does someone want to volunteer or do you want Dwayne to pick?
I think it's better if the person picks.
Okay. I will pick Yeti. For some reason, Mask is unaffected by this. And you basically watch everybody else just kind of stumble off and one by one fall down into this well. What do you do?
I think what Mass is going to do after he gets over everybody just being stupid, taking a bath, he's going to use his acrobatic skills to pretty much run down the well, grab everybody, tie them to a rope, bring them back up, and then start dragging them away from the village, hoping that the spell takes them, whatever's got them possessed, goes away the farther we get away from the village.
Okay. So when you go down to the well to fetch everybody, what do you see down there? What's down there? Is it just a normal well, or is there something else down there?
He gets the sense that there's some kind of demonic presence down there, but way too powerful for him to try to deal with on his own. So his only goal is just to get everybody away.
Awesome. And now we have a possible place to adventure in the future. The demon in the well.
Nice.
Awesome. All right, so Steve.
Yeah, I'll go next. I just kind of came up with this one as we've been sitting here, but I've been thinking about it. So we'll call this the Whispering Woods. And so like this is a bit further on in the trip. We've recovered from this. Thank Mask for not abandoning us to our deaths and saving us. And it happens like not long after we're in the forest. It's probably a half day, maybe even a full day into the forest. We're still following the remnants of the road. And as we're going through, things so far have been pretty chill. Like, it's a quiet forest, but the sounds you hear tend to be the normal sounds of the forest. There haven't been any attacks or anything like that. But we've reached this one section of the forest where the foliage changes, and it's all of a sudden it's all willow trees. And they hang fairly still, but they move just very slightly. And the path, the road that we're sort of following, what's left of it, goes through these willow trees. And as we enter, there's almost this faint, it's almost like whispering. It sounds like it's the wind through the willows, but those of us with really good perception, it's almost like words. It's like the memory of words. It's inchoate, it's not identifiable, but it's almost like words, but you can't pick them out. And as we go through, it just kind of keeps kind of whispering. And the next thing, we've traveled maybe 15 or 20 minutes into it, is we start smelling the smell of like almost like sweetness, but it's like that decayed kind of fruit sort of smell. And as we go further, that smell starts merging with the smell of like almost rotting flesh. And as we're going through, all of a sudden, as these will-o-wisps they're sort of like the willow trees are sort of like moving back and forth. We've actually, like, they're touching us as we're sort of moving through because it's quite overgrown. And all of a sudden, we hear Tim, who's at the back, cry out, "Ah! It touched me! It touched me!" And we all kind of like laugh it off, like we think it's Tom or something like that. But all of a sudden, these willow tree, the parts of it, start slowly wrapping around us and like touching us and picking at us. And as people start reacting to that, they start gripping more and more, and they start pulling at us and pulling at our horses. And they're trying to, like, almost like the more that we're fighting with this, they're like pulling towards us and trying to take us. And as we sort of realize, the smell that we smell are animals that have wandered in here and have been gripped and grabbed by this. And so something happens to get us out of this. And it's our new to the group, not new to the group, but new to tonight's session, friend Isceau, who saves us from this.
Isceau.
Cool.
He's very so.
So as these these kudzu-like willows begin snatching at everyone, Isceau, doesn't take kindly of this, of course. And so he as he carries more often than not his fiddle under like the crook of his arm, and he kind of like swings his bow around, but whatever, and he pulls it up to his chin and whatever, and he begins to play. And the song was a song taught from him by an old sea hag, and back in his days upon the Right Dame. And the sea hag taught him this in exchange for something that he wouldn't go into now, to help prevent seaweed from latching onto small boats and dragging them and causing them to fall. And he thinks that this song, like these, instead of seaweed dragging boats down, willows dragging his friends apart. And so he begins to play, and the willow, branches and vines and whatnot begin to relax and dance amongst the whispering
Cool.
trees.
Did you just come up with that, Nathan? The seaweed
Yes.
thing? Well done.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Great storytelling, man.
Hey,
Would
that
you say-
reminds. Sorry, Dwayne. Go ahead.
Would you say that was inspired, Lex?
Yeah, well, actually, you read my mind. I was just going to ask who does not have inspiration right now.
I don't.
Nathan and Yeti. Well, Nathan, I'll definitely give you inspiration for the
Thanks.
seaweed thing. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was cool. Tie your background into it. That's sweet.
Yeah, that's cool. I was hoping that it would give a way to like bring him like to get a sense of his personality. I like that. That it wasn't like he pulled out a sword and cut through it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He charmed the trees. All right. Chrissy, you want to go next?
As we're traveling through we come across a rather large set of wolf tracks. And for some reason, we decide we're going to go investigate because these are like some massive tracks. And Idunn was really curious about the wolf that would have left them. And we come upon this little cottage out of the way where a man who introduces himself to us as Fenrir lives. And he tells us a story about this giant white wolf that lives in the woods nearby and asks us if we would take care of it. It's been trying to get at him for a while now. And eventually he leads us to a place where he tells us the wolf lives. And instead of it just being one wolf, there's two giant white wolves that attack us and that the guy is controlling.
Oh. So he double-crossed you.
He's
So-
trying to feed us to his wolves.
So who would you like to decide how they got you guys out of this predicament, Chrissy?
Mahmoud.
Mahmoud. So, in anticipation of what they were planning to do, he sort of, like, we're gonna go and try and like draw this wolf out. And so, like, Mahmoud's been thinking, like, how are we gonna draw this wolf out to like a favorable area? So he gets this in his mind this great idea that like Tom's been starting to smell, and Tom's time with the group is unfortunately coming to an end.
Aw,
It's just,
I barely knew him.
but it's starting to smell, and like even Tim isn't happy. The other day, Tim was mounting Tom to get up to do his horse cleaning thing, and part of Tom's shoulder just kind of slouched away. Yeah. So it's bad. So he thinks, you know what? Perfect use for Tom. We'll strap a bunch of like meat and stuff around his neck and send him in. So when we arrive at the scene, like Tom is already all set up for this, and even though things are not going our way, Mahmoud, like, he's a man of opportunity. He kind of looks at it. So he goes ahead with the plan, and he actually, like, instead of like fighting these wolves, actually just kicks Tom into the middle of these two wolves, which they attack Tom, giving the group the opportunity to turn on the master, and they set up the usual. It's from there it goes to a fairly typical combat. But because the wolves are so caught up on this, Fenrir, I think his name was, which I caught the reference. He gets taken down really fast, and we're able to beat these guys fairly handily, all for Tom's great sacrifice.
So he became a giant white wolf chew toy, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what? And Tom, the corpse was well used.
The only thing that would have made me happier is if you would have defeated it with snakes somehow.
Snakes.
Yeah, because Ouroboros. Fenrir.
Nice. Well,
Awesome.
he did use his whip, which was
Snake-like.
somehow he got the whip around the guy's neck so that the whip curled upon itself. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Sorry. Awesome. So Nathan, I guess, is left.
So after some time traveling through these rolling hills, and things have been awfully quiet recently, and we reach, and it's been a while since we've seen any unnamably small villages, we reach an area between a set of hills that it's very open. And you would think it would be a very clean area, but everywhere the eye can see, not absolutely littered, but are little mounds. And on all of these mounds are some kind of bit of equipment. A pair of boots here, a spear stuck in another one. And at the very center, as we walk along, are two flags. And these flags flap, one farther away from us and one closer, and they're separated by maybe a yard or two. And one has some arcane markings, and the other has arcane markings of another type. And standing in between these two, as we get closer and closer, not standing, crouched, is a figure. It is a stone kind of figure that is crouched down with one hand outstretched like this, and the other up against his chest, and up against his chest is a sword going down. It's clearly some kind of battlefield. Some kind of battle has happened here at some point in time. And as we begin to cross between the two flags, the stone statue stands up and accosts whomever I pick next, and says thusly. He brings a sword about and says thusly: "Dragged from battle by back of thou hand, stained not by theirs, for only our land. Battle, my brother, your cousins I meet, the words of the warrior here now at your feet." And at any point in time that we begin to go across towards this fellow, the stone statue quickly moves and stops any advance here, and occasionally repeats that little rhyme to Idunn. "Dragged from battle by the back of thou hand, stained not by theirs, for only our land. Battle, my brother, your cousins I meet, words of the warrior are now at your feet." And it's a riddle. Hey.
I gathered that it was a riddle.
Yeah, I tried to make it as simple, but not so just kind of dumbstruck. Hopefully my context clues. He's looking for something, I guess, would be my first necessary question.
Can you repeat it?
"Dragged from battle by the back of thou hand, stained not by theirs, for only our land. Battle, my brother, your cousins I meet, the words of the warrior are now at your feet." Little mounds dot the landscape with various bits of equipment. A pair of boots here, a breastplate there.
You know I have no idea what you're going for, right?
Ah, man.
Riddles
Can
are
anyone
tough.
Yeah.
get what I'm going for here? I'm going to feel really lame. I was hoping that it was going to be easy enough that it wouldn't cause some...
I'm
Riddles
guessing
are tough.
dropping off a pair of, warrior gear or something, laying it there as like a tribute.
Can you repeat the riddle?
Sure.
Maybe type it in the chat so we
Sure.
can.
Here, I can do this.
It's kind of a lot to hold in your head. Damned riddling statues anyway.
I don't want to take up too much time, so sadly, at some point I'll have to say the jig is up, or you can solve it some other how.
Yeah, you can.
Feel free to.
You could just
do
say
whatever,
that you get frustrated and chop the statues up or something.
You decide that we take the road around. I don't know.
Yeah. Idunn just gets really frustrated by the stupid, obnoxious talking statue. Does she cast Compelled Duel and makes it fight her and just obliterates it with radiant light?
Excellent.
Love it. Yeah, I'm stumped. I'm stumped by the riddle.
Hey.
Man.
I want to know now.
Yeah, right?
No. Mm-mm.
There's no answer.
There is. I think if I tell you, it'll be really obvious.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I think my only guess at all was that it wanted a shield.
Yes, 100%. There you go. There it is.
Was it? That was my guess too. But
so I was right.
Dragged from battle, back your hands, stained not by theirs, their blood. It's not a sword. For only our land, battle my brother, his sword. Your cousins I meet, other swords. It's a shield. The words of the warrior here now at your feet is just filler. Anglo-Saxon riddle poem.
Trixie.
And that's why I said mounds had various bits of.
I was guessing shield too, but I guess for me, I was trying to like relate every last part of it, and I
wasn't trying to relate every last part of it, but I would have thought that, you said there were various bits. You would have mentioned, like casually in the middle there, whichever bit it actually wanted, and not just left it to the assumption that particular bit was there.
It's already got that bit. Why does it need? Why does it need another pair? He did a shield because he had one outstretched hand that was empty.
If he had that shield, though, he probably wouldn't have got taken down so hard.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad, but otherwise, hey, well handled.
I like the effort, man.
Riddles are tough, man. Riddles are always because when you're just casually sitting there, they're okay. When you're kind of on the spot, it's like they get harder,
Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's worth a shot,
Anybody remember Betrayal at Krondor and like the chests that had the riddles? That was wicked.
I was gonna do my first thing was a village thing, but then Dwayne was like, we get to a weird village, and I'm like, damn it, that was my idea. Anyways.
Yeah, mine was a weird village too, so I've been thinking of one.
Yeti, you haven't gone yet, right?
Right.
Okay.
And Klatu hasn't picked one yet, so that's obvious.
So make it something I can solve with my hammer. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you might be able to use your hammer for this one. As we're traveling along, we start to hear like a lot of laughter and goofing off, like people are partying in the distance. And as we get closer, we find a old rundown tavern. Sign barely hanging from it. Looked like the sign once said, the bloated goat. And as we get closer, we decide to look inside and see what's going on, and we find a bunch of kobolds just sitting there drinking and partying and doing crazy stuff.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, so I get Tim. I'm like, Tim, we're going to disguise you. I'm trained in disguise. Very few people know this. But as for my time in the traveling circus, so we gussy up Tim to make him look like a kobold, get like some kind of a fake muzzle on him and everything like that. And we're like, okay, now we're going to fit you with a wire. So we get a can and we put a string on it. And we have it kind of sitting like next to him. He's got to like talk into it when he figures out what the kobolds are up to. And then we kick his ass inside the bar. And Tim trundles up to the kobolds and kind of works the information out of it. The whole time he kind of leans down and whispers into the can. And where we're sitting on the other side with the can to our ear, like 10 feet away, like just like right close. And we find out that the kobolds are celebrating a ridiculous, barely heard of holiday known as Boxing Day. And
I will kill you.
And it involves drinking putrefied horse urine and eating road apples. And
what a bunch of wankers.
Yeah, they're totally tools. And they're kind of jumping around and having a good old time in there. And at that point, Tim comes back out and tells us about all the happenings. And despite everyone's desire to go in and bust ahead some pop some skulls on kobolds, Klatu settles everybody down and says that the Boxing Day is a very, very important day to allow kobolds to have their day, and we just leave and travel down the road. We don't actually bust them up.
Nice.
Awesome.
I was hoping you'd say we go party with them.
Party with the
party
kobolds.
like a kobold party.
That would be better. Yeah.
Ain't no party like it's a Boxing Day party.
Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes later, we're like, what are we thinking? Let's go party. And then we go back and we party with the kobolds all night. And Let's say by morning.
This is their one day of the year they decide not to fight and do violence. They just want to party.
Yeah, they have that one day. And let's just say by morning, Slarg is well pleased.
Oh, golly.
Many offerings were made to Slarg that night.
Yes. Oh my.
Wow. Awesome.
And we're now honorary members of the Zboxing Day Kobold tribe.
Cadre.
Honorary Zboxers.
Boxers.
They're all pugilists, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I challenge you to fisticuffs. Oh man. Good stuff. All right.
D&D.
So you guys journey for how long did I say it was? 2.5 months. 2.5 months.
Cool.
So we've covered some of the highlights of the journey. There were surely other things that happened, other adversaries and obstacles that you faced that just weren't as interesting. So we didn't talk about those. But you guys have traveled long and far, and you've been traveling through forest for many weeks at this point. And I think. No, I take that back. I think you guys are past the forest by now. Yeah, this isn't in the forest. And you finally see King's Folly in the distance, or what you assume must be it. It's the only proper city that you've seen. The road leads right towards it. Right away from the distance, you can see that it's not nearly as large as Alondria. It's not as nice, I guess. It's a lot smaller, and it's Alondria has, well, the elven part in the center, of course, is very what's the word, like artistic and beautiful and everything. And even the human parts, a lot of the buildings were made as much for their, to look impressive or beautiful as just for it to be a building. Where this place, everything's very functional. Every building's just a square box, a very utilitarian human town. The wall around it actually is not even stone. It's like a log wall palisade kind of thing. And as you guys get closer, you do see there's kind of a haze above the city, like smoke, and you do see some smoke coming from the city, but it looks a little too dark to be like smoke from people's cook fires. Looks like it might actually be things burning. And as you get even closer, what?
I said, is it purple?
No, it's not purple. As you get even closer, though, you start to sense this strangeness coming from this place, as it seems far too quiet, and you don't see any signs of motion or anything. And we'll say at this point, you guys are, getting close to the gate in the outer wall.
I think we should stay away from the wells in this place.
I feel like Hades may have paid this place a visit.
Oh, do you think so? I hope he is still here.
Wow, I have yet to experience Steve's character, so I'm just kind of taking this in for a second. I'm sorry. That's wow.
Oh no,
that's great.
Oh, it did work. My new macro worked.
So the town is just deathly quiet and it's all buttoned up.
No, actually, and this also seems strange. The gates are wide open. There are these big wooden gates, and they're open as you approach.
That seems welcoming. Tim? We're going to need a little recon here, Tim. No, I'm just kidding. I'll
what do you want me to do?
Nothing, never mind.
I feel like that certain as we've seen. I don't know. I'm gonna think up an accent for Isceau. Clearly, I want to do like a weird sailor kind of fake French one, but I can't. Just literally cannot.
Can you do the French accent from like the Monty Python movies? So kind of like a British person making fun of a French person.
I can't. I can't even do French. I'd have to
That'd be so
listen to
great.
like some French stuff for a while and try to make up a fake accent. But it's just not. I've never heard really people speak French. So you know. So
Your mother was a hamster.
It would seem. Now, see, I just feel like it would seem to me that places like this, as we've passed beyond before, that at times of a night like this, they would be closed. You know, there are brigands about these lands, I'm sure, though we have surprisingly not seen many. But Isceau's well spoken because of his father, even though he's a sailor.
So,
Mask is going to stealthily approach the gates.
Okay.
I'll join
Let
him.
me do a stealth check.
Sure. Look at that. Whoa! You guys just disappear.
Damn.
You guys are like, man, I think Klatu and Mask ditched us. They're gone. Is anybody else sneaking?
Nah,
No? Okay, so those of you that are...
we're staying behind a bit. Like we're
You're
letting
staying
them do
behind?
their thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let them scout ahead? Okay. So Mask and Klatu, what do you guys do?
Well, maybe we go up on opposite sides of the gate, up against
That's what
the
I
wall,
was thinking. Go up there.
and then go up, and then kind of Mask can kind of watch, and I'll be first man in, or first orc in, as the case may be. And
How high is the wall?
It's probably, I don't know, how high would it be? Somewhere between 10 and 15 feet high, I think.
I'm going to pull out a rope and I'm going to climb up the wall
Okay.
to the hole. Launch the thing up and climb up the wall.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'll go in through the gate. So Mask could maybe kind of cover me or something. Or not. But I'll have Thunderfucker out, ready to go.
Thunderfucker really needs a theme song.
Yeah.
It's got to be metal. It's got to be metal.
Yeah, right?
It'd be better if it was easy listening.
Thunderfucker!
Some smooth jazz, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Thunderfucker!
I still like the idea of repurposing Thunderstruck by AC/DC and just make it Thunderfuck.
Thunderfuck!
I'm dynamite. All right. So Mask scales the wall. What are you doing, Klatu?
I'm just going in. Basically, I'm
Okay.
trying to stay stealthy, but I'm going in the main gate. I'm just looking for any activity, sounds, anything like that.
Okay.
After a few minutes of this, do I hear anything? Or
All right. So Mask, you scale the wall, and Klatu, you go through the gate, and you both inside see nothing. You see a city, and from where you are right now, you can see some signs of like tipped over carts, broken doors, things like that. Signs that there were some violence done here, but you don't see any people at all.
No
And-
bodies,
and the-
nothing.
Yeah, no bodies, no people, no sound. Like you don't hear anybody. It's like
Did
spooky quiet.
it look like a mass exodus had gone out the gate? I mean, I suppose it would look like there was probably traffic there anyway, but there's nothing.
Yeah, not really anything that seemed out of the ordinary.
All right, well, before I get too far in and get separated from the group, I'll head back out and tell the group that it looks abandoned. I didn't see any activity whatsoever. Is there anything that stands out? Is there a clock tower in the middle of town, or is there a keep on a hill at the other side of town, or anything like that that I could see? Or it's a city. It's not like so. It's a big place.
Yeah, it's not as big as Alondria, but it's a smaller city. It does seem from what you can see from here, it does seem like as you go further into the city, it's the more kind of upscale. This first part that you're in seems like the poorer part of town. Just look, all the buildings here are kind of like shacks, where further in the city is kind of on like sort of like a hill. So the center of the city is a little higher than the rest of it. And you can see further in town, you see nicer buildings and some actual stone buildings.
Lex, were we told where the gate is located that we're being sent to fix ultimately?
No, you weren't.
That is something we probably should have asked.
Yeah, or like a map of the city would have been nice, right?
Well, should we go back and get one?
It's only 2.5 months.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
against going back to get one.
It's not a huge city,
so
would
be okay.
It would probably only take you, I don't know, maybe an hour or two to get to like the center of town, and in Alondria at least, the city's kind of organized where like the most important stuff is in the center, and from kind of like a defense perspective, like that makes sense that it would be that way here too, maybe.
The question that I have is, should we take Tim and the horses with us, or should we leave them here?
I don't want to carry that giant stone by myself. I mean, sure, I'm strong enough to, but I don't want to. What we got the horses for?
Yeah, let's bring everybody with. Let's bring it all in. Everybody be on high alert.
I'm okay with this because if we die, we will all die together. It will be nice.
Oh, and something I neglected to mention, and you guys all experience this as you go in, but when you go through the gate, you feel the very familiar kind of tingle of passing through a mythal. So there is a mythal around this place.
And just so I can sort of get this in, and it fits. So as we're all like approaching and going into this village, Isceau relates kind of as we're doing this, relates a story, and I'm gonna create something that's a little more less slapdash in this. Relates a story of back when he was on. At this point, it was still the Right Dame, which I don't know if you saw, Dwayne, but I. Totally cool with Klatu knowing Isceau from the Right Dame, or the Memories of Downey Bay. He tells the story of when they were going into port, and the port town was completely like silent and empty. And when they sailed their ship in, as they crossed like the buoys into the town, you could see all the rats running from the bow of the ship, like as we crossed the buoys and jumping to their depths. Or from the stern to the bow, and jumping to their deaths off into the sea. And it's all very kind of chilling and inspiring. And everyone gets 8 temporary hit points.
Oh.
Oh ho ho!
I was about to cast Bless or Aid, so you beat us to it. That's perfect.
Wow.
And as soon as Mahmoud starts talking about all of us dying together, Matt shakes his head and he branches off away from everybody and goes up to the rooftop so he can keep a better watch.
Seems like he would rather die alone. This will be the accent for Isceau.
Hades takes all types. It is okay.
Everyone pays a visit eventually.
That's right.